Hey everyone, this is episode 2 of Scott's playthrough as the humans in the latest version of Distance Worlds 2. In case you missed episode 1, you don't want to watch it, I can give you like a 30-second update as to where we are. So we're in a small galaxy and we're very crowded here. We have a very unfriendly empire to the north. We have a couple of other empires not too far away to the east and southwest of me. I've got a couple of independent colonies. That's going to be my priority to get to. I also have a couple of colonies that are colonizable, which are right here. And I have a rogue, I guess it's a derelict colony ship that we found, and it's got these guys, the Kitarov, 52 million of them, and they like grassland planets. So my plan is to use them right away to colonize this grassland planet. Even though they could colonize this, I'd rather save that for humans. That's a decent colony suitability. Very small though, diameter of 2,800 here, 2,900, not great. And this system will get better if I put them here, if I research some tech. So that's the first two things I'm going to do, is probably colonize these two. I definitely want to get these Teekans because they're so close to this Hakunish consortium here. I'm afraid they're going to gobble that up. In the meantime, I've got to build up my tech to protect myself in this northern empires. I got some great feedback. Thanks for the comments, by the way. And so one of the things about this colonization and is that's important, as you guys pointed out, and I would have mentioned in this video, is that getting different races in your colonies, of course, lines up, right, different races that can colonize many, many different planet types versus if I had only humans, right? So that's a big part of this strategy, is to get building pretty quickly. I do want to take over this empire in the north, this grand Dayut Tyranny. So that's big. So let's let the game run. I'm going to run on normal speed for a while I check on some things. So first thing I want to do is rush this technology here. Even if it's 90 days, probably pretty cheap to do. Okay, I should be rushing more technology in general. I have pretty decent money to do so, and I've got a decent cash flow here, which is pretty good. I'm going to check my minerals to make sure that my constructors are all getting to important minerals, particularly these ones in red here. I think that's plenty for now. Yeah, that's good. They'll keep them busy. There's only 2. I think there's 3 actually. I probably should. No, there's only 2. So I should definitely build another one at this point. It's approaching mid game. So let me go do that right off the bat, and we'll get 3 of those guys going. Next thing I want to check on is research, and I think I only have 130. That was definitely my position is a little low on research. And there's 1 still being built, so that's going to get a little boost past that, but not great. I've got 1 scientist. The best part about scientists, 16% research for weapons is good, but the best part is when it has all research. I didn't happen to get lucky enough to get somebody with that. So all of this is, I'm really starting off slightly disadvantaged here, and I've got to prepare for the future. And we're going to let that happen. Okay, so now I'm finally on colonization tech here. I don't want to do this too early. Some of you pointed this out too, because I need to save money to build colony ships. And I'm going to need at least 2 to get all these targets that I want to get. And I've also got to save money to bribe these Teekans here so that I can colonize them peacefully, which will help my reputation, of course. I only have 1 fleet, as we talked about in the first episode, and it's really some old escorts with old technology, so I should be set about upgrading this pretty soon too. I'm just going to wait for my patrol ship, the frigates technology, so that I can, and maybe even, well, the deflectors doesn't matter because they'll just upgrade on their own, but I've got to get frigates created. Frigates seem to be, even though I like destroyers too, some of you mentioned that in your comments, frigates seem to be the best bang for your buck, and losing one is not such a big deal. I used to never play with frigates. I used to always go right to destroyers and build destroyers as my first level of ship, but I've come around to believe that the smaller ships, stacked with everything I can, of course maxing them out, is the better way to go for the majority of my fleets. So majority of my ships in my fleet. We'll talk about more of that about later. Okay, I'm going to speed it up now. I think I've checked everything I want to check. So again, in case you missed it here, there's this planet here. What is it? Oh, because they can colonize. So I'm going to send this guy right away, actually. So I'm going to send that derelict ship. I should have done this right away. We can do that. I'm going to send him here, even though it's 14 is low, right? It's got to be at least 20 to be successful. But I will research that technology pretty quickly, at least get it up to, I think it'll go up to 17. And then maybe two tiers of that won't be too difficult to do. And then in the future, when their population grows, I can use them to colonize other grassland planets. So let's hope that happens pretty quickly. Okay, so let's see how much it would cost to rush this. I'm really in a rush here, but oh yeah, 11,000. I can live with that, I think. Okay. All right, let's go to 8 times speed here for a little while. Hope nobody declares war on me. There's my new construction ship. Okay, so now you can hear this, right? So now you can see we're starting to hear about the hive, right? That's a mid-game concern. And they'll stay dormant for a while. And a lot of times I like to go in there and attack them before they have a chance to start attacking us, right? Because they're very dormant right now. And you can just walk up to them and start attacking. Of course, they'll react immediately, but at least you can pick the place you're going to fight and have all your ships there. Okay, let's stop right now. All right, so that other place, this is not my priority. It's within my boundaries. Nobody else can colonize it within my influence boundaries. So I'm not worried about immediately doing this because I'm much, much more concerned about getting these Teekans. And I don't think I can speak to them yet. Let me see. Maybe I can. Because I've already spoken to them pretty recently. So no, I got to wait till January next year. So January 14th. But in the meantime, I can still build the colony ship in my home. So let's go there. I mean, I don't have to do this, but I'm just going back to look at my home system anyway. Oh, another thing I want to show you to do, I'm sure many of you know how to do it, but in case you're new to the game and you are watching, right? So turning off this all messages gives you a lot more screen real estate, at least while I'm doing all these things. So look at when I'm paused, right? So let's see. I'm going to go to my, it's a little quicker for my spaceport. So let's build it. Our first colony ship. Now, this is a part of the game I'm not a big fan of. And if anybody else has a better solution, that's fine. But I don't think there is. So, all right, here it comes. So when the ship comes out, right, because I'm colonizing an independent, and that independent is not, the independent planet is much better suited, right? If you look here, it says Teekans 41, but I'm sure if you put humans on this sandy desert planet, it's going to be like 15 or 20 or something, right? So I want almost no humans to be there, but I have to send, unless I had a Teekan colony ship, which I don't, I have to send a human colony ship. Of course, I mean, loaded with human beings to colonize this. And you'll see, we'll get 2 different races on this planet. And the one will have a slower growth rate and it will not do so well because the colony is not suited for that race, right? Humans. So I need to play this stupid game of just grabbing the minimum amount of humans to do this. It's a pain in the neck, right? It's something I wish they would just handle automatically. Now, they will migrate away. I can tell them, right, to start migrating away, but it never seems to get rid of the humans or even completely minimize the effect. So I have to play this little game. All right, here's the game, right? So I come over here and I said load colonists. And they're going to come here and do that. Let's go. Yeah, he's just coming out now. All right, and then as soon as he gets there, he's going to start. He's already loaded, a ton. So now I have to go down here and turn the game speed down really slow and say unload passengers. And of course, this is only going to work when the planet, my home colony has not reached its maximum population. Then it won't allow you to do this anyway. But we're okay for a while. So now I'm going to hit unload, and it should happen close to immediately. Let me speed it up slightly. Okay, come on. All right, now I'm going to pause it, and now I'm going to go pretty slow, right? So 5, 4, 1,000, 1,000, 3, 2, 1, right? And then as I get really close here, I want to slow the game down. And I'm going to wait till there's literally almost like one guy on there, right? Okay, I'm going a little too slow. Now, I'm being picky here, but, you could have gone with 50 or 100 or, okay. Let's take a look. All right, so now I'm going to send them to this place, right, for Alice here. So I'm going to grab my colony ship and tell it just to refuel here. I don't want to tell it to colonize here because I may have to bribe them again to get the number up when they get there. So I got to keep an eye on that, right? So I'm going to send them there, let the game run at fast speed again. And when I get to January, or I can wait till the colony ship arrives, actually, to try to bribe them, because that might be enough to put them over the top. I think it will be. And I researched their technology, right, too? So if I look, well, we'll look when we get there. I researched their culture technology, so that's going to help me. Oh, I missed it. So this is exactly what I was afraid was going to happen if I didn't get there fast enough. And that's not good. And while I was looking too, the other one got invaded probably by this other empire. So I just lost both independence. So much for that. So I'm going to go back and bring him here, load him up, and then grab that other colony. But both of those new colonies are going to be a drain versus these two colonies, which would have been, no, this one would have been a drain if I assaulted it. So anyway, I'm going to go into attack mode here. I'm going to go back to my home system, my home colony. I've got to build more troops, and I'm going to have to go super aggressive here. And I think armor barracks. Okay, we're going to get armor barracks. In the meantime, let me get a couple more infantry. I think it's still built. Yeah, it's still building some anyway. Okay. So super aggressive, right? And I won't gain the rep gain that I would have gained from doing it peacefully. So I'm really, really at a disadvantage here. I've got to move really quickly. And I've got to start some wars and take these two places and, of course, build up ships. It's a lot of work, right? All right, let me rush this too. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this, right, this... yeah, I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, I think this. So this is where the Shakturi are going to come in, right? Or at least the creatures that they send in. I think it's called Rift Riders, right? So these creatures are going to come in here, and then eventually the Shakturi one of their many fleets will come in here. So it's kind of actually nice that it's close to me, so I can smother it with ships, hopefully, before they come. But that's the first lead-in. It's not that it hasn't set off the timer yet. It's just setting the stage for where they're going to come in. That's what that event is. So good to know in the future. Yeah, and this is a standard event that happens. So I'm going to do stabilize. Usually it doesn't work, of course, but we get some tech. Okay, great. Oh, here it is. Okay, great. And hyperdrive technology is super important, as is long range sensors. That's really good. So I'm going to go. Of course, my research just ran out. Again, I hate that. I don't realize that's happening. And I think I'm going to do warp. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. So it's not half. Yeah, a little more than halfway done already. So that's great. And it's also said long-range scanners, which is super important. I also need boarding. Actually, I'll do that first because I need to get transports or I can't attack anybody. Yeah. And I'm really going to start working on these technologies as well. I just can't afford it right now. Okay, I need some basic transport. That's going to be important too. For my troop compartments. Yeah, I'm just thinking ahead. I'm just looking at other techs that I want to get pretty quickly before I build ships. So I take crew systems. This is going to generate income for me. It's not part of my defense. Yeah, I could do all of these actually. I mean, they'll go pretty quickly with I think they'll go pretty quickly, but I'm taking a big risk here, but I've got to build up my ground troops anyway, right? Okay. And I really like, well, I can live without damage control initially, but there's basic troop transports. I absolutely need them. Okay. Oh yeah. And I need better space stations here because otherwise it takes forever to build these ships once I start building ships. So yeah, I need a lot of things here. Okay. I mean, listen, I could wait way too long to do all this, right? And then I definitely want missiles, third tier though. Okay. Yeah, I like to play with missiles. I just find that I just do better with them. I used to use torpedoes. They work fine. I mean, all the weapons work okay, right? It depends who you're fighting has, and there's a whole science behind it. But, it's just about tiers for the most part. I mean, it's one of those areas where I'm not completely min-maxing as to like, well, what technology is going to work versus what the enemy has here. I just find that overwhelming with more ships and having as high a tier as reasonably you can is going to be the way to win. But I will talk about that, and we'll look at some battles that we get into and look at what weapon is fighting what, and have a little discussion about that. But I love missiles. They seem to work the best for me. Okay. All right. So I built that other colony ship finally picked up all the people. Now, of course, now I loaded it up because with all 30 million, because I'm going to a place that's, a continental, so it's good for humans, right? So I'm going to send him there. But either way, when I go to these are both going to be drains. In fact, this is going to be a huge drain on my economy here forever, unless I research some tech on that. So it's a pretty tough little situation I've got myself in here. But this one will become profitable at a pretty reasonable rate, but initially I'm still going to take a hit. And again, it's all a balance, because the minute this actual research drops below the potential, you're starting to spin wheels a little bit, right? And you want to avoid that. Now, if it does drop for whatever reason, you're running low on money or something, then I tend to do a lot of things that would hurt it anyway and get them all out of the way. For example, when I get the terraforming technology, I kind of just throw that on my main colonies, because I can't, if I'm not reaching potential anyway. And I think it's like, I don't think it's half. I think it's like 75%, or maybe it'll drop to half. I think it drops to like 75% if you can't fund it, right? Anyway, we'll see. Okay, and that's a nice thing too. Although the last thing I needed was volcanic. It would have been nice if the gods of luck had been with me and this had been grassland. But as humans, right, every time you colonize a continental planet, you get a free tech, right? So it would have been nice if it was continental 2, or if it had been forest, but it was grasslands. But it wasn't. All right, but anyway, still a free tech. All right, okay, I think now I have armor technology. Yeah, I do. And by the way, I should have rushed. I still can rush this. I will rush this. Although we're not making money hand over fist like I was, we're still doing pretty well. Okay. And the other reason to rush it is not just to make it go quicker, but, you don't want a failure, right? You don't want a critical failure. So anytime you're over half like this, and you have the money, it's good to rush these techs, particularly like the tier 3 like this one, at the time that I'm at. So, oh, wow, 2 more research stations. This is big. Okay, so I want to immediately go in and micromanage this a little bit, and I'll just tell these guys the next time they're done with these 2, they'll head over there and do those 2. Wow, that was pretty close. That was pretty good. Okay. Okay, so what was I doing before this? I think I was just, okay. Oh, yeah, no, I was going to go to my home colony here, and I was going to build a armor barracks, because we want to mix. The more mixed we have, right, armor, special troops, and regular troops, the more effective they're going to be. So when that's done, I'll just kind of leave this open while I'm waiting for that to finish. Right, you can see how quickly on a decent-sized colony like this, and I say decent-sized meaning a decent-sized population, how much quicker buildings build. It doesn't take long at all. It's funny, there's no way to rush buildings. That would have been interesting if you can rush everything else. But it's not. It doesn't take a lot of time on a well-developed colony like this. Okay, let's build some tanks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that's cost me a lot of maintenance, right? So one of the first things you want to do, and I may rush that right now, is improve logistics, and that'll take a little bit of the maintenance bite out. So I'm going to actually put that next. But see, I'm just delaying the whole invasion thing. And if you remember, my fleets were pretty strong. Oh, that's a good one. All right. That's free tech, usually, these things. No, it became hostile, so never mind. And and by the way, one thing I haven't talked about in a while is I have one of these in my home. And some of you mentioned it'd be nice to capture it, and I agree, but I don't usually spend a lot of time. It's one of the part of the game that I just doesn't for me. It's not. It's actually very good, and I have used it. Like some of these ships that my fleet have, right? Marines that can board the. Well, I take that back. I do use boarding when I try to capture, if I can, one of the big hive carriers, and I either use it or strip it for technology. Typically, I use it. I fix it up and use it. So I do use my. Actually, you know what? If I'm about to build, I take it back. If I'm about to build transports, we might be able to take this over. But I usually don't bother. But yeah, let's try it. All right. Anyway, this is my home system, like I said, so I do want to get this going. And I'm probably going to wait till the crew systems are done. Yeah, I don't really care about the fuel cells right now. And I'll build some frigates. We'll try to at least get this thing beaten down, and then I'll build some troop transports. Oh, they're going to take a long time, though. I better move them up a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and we'll try to capture this. That'll give me a little more research, too. So it's really, it's a time game I'm playing against my enemies here. Either I have to really outbuild them by a lot or have pretty decent tech when I go in there and try to take them over. And again, the other part, if I go back to here, the other thing with these multiple colonies makes it, and look at this guy, the purple guy's like 5, makes it extremely more difficult to take them over. Whereas this guy, in theory, if I know everything there is to know about him, has 1. Because probably he's having trouble getting through these nebulae here. So I'd like to take him over really fast. And again, that's going to put a huge hit on my cash flow here. But it will recover, and I will research his culture technology. In fact, again, I don't want to do that now until I take it over. And then that will help for a while. And it looks like I have a plague here. Do I? Yeah, it looks like I do. Right, if you hover over here, what is it called? Oh, no. Yes. Oh, I read this earlier. I didn't actually know I had the plague. So, what a drag. See, my population's dropping if you're watching that. All right, so I have to research this. And I thought... I didn't realize it actually had happened. I guess I just missed the message. So yet another thing I got to deal with here. And let's rush this. This go pretty quickly. It's going to take a while. But I'm losing pop, right? And when I'm losing population, although, yeah, not there, but at home. Right? And of course, that means I'm losing money, or it looks like my growth is fighting it now. I'm not really sure. Oh, it's gone. No, that's the wrong colony. Sorry. No, that's right. That's home. It's gone. Okay, that's weird. And I'm already 2/3 through this, but I guess maybe it'll come back. I don't know. That was weird. You guys want to explain it in the comments? Let me know. I probably missed something because I'm trying to look at everything at the same time and think about what I want to talk about. Okay, bizarre. All right, let's rush this. I'm just going to grab it. It's part of, I have the money. Okay, and I'm doing really well now. I don't know what just happened, because these two are reducing it. I guess it's just my minerals are coming in, and of course my big thing about making money here is this development. Again, over 100. I think it's over 100. The developer said it starts to lose. Right, it's like a log scale, right? So it's increasing at 10 is not going to make that much difference, but a little bit gets added, right? A little bit of benefit. So everything's good. It's just that the higher you are above 100, the less each percentage matters. I don't know why they did it as a percentage either. It should have been some other thing. One of the things I argued with them about a lot of this stuff was to kind of bury this and maybe have this like levels, like, sparse. I don't know what would be good words here, but, not having the actual numbers. There's way too many numbers. And maybe there's a screen where you go and you deal the numbers later. That's one thing. But, yeah, okay. That's what I normally see, and that normally cures it. But for some reason, it looked like it cured itself. But I'd love to have this sort of abstracted a little bit, and then you delve in and see what the state is, because dealing with all these numbers all the time at this level is, I hardly think about it, right? I know I want to get above 100 here, and that's a good number, but I would love it if the game was abstracted somewhat, and then you delve deeper, like you open the colony screen, like I have open here, and maybe there's more details here. That would have been my pick. Okay, let's rush another technology here. Why not? It just saved me a little time, but that's important. And I want to see how my troops are doing. I'm starting to get tanks. Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, good. Another thing, I don't know if you guys mentioned in the comments, but I do see other YouTubers, other players doing is, you know, sort of maximizing like your mining stations, either give them more weapons, right? Or sometimes on space stations putting extra research components, right? Labs, I think it's called. But, you know, like it gets crazy. First of all, I don't enjoy the game when I'm doing way too much of this micromanaging. And second of all, like then it's not even like fun fighting, right? The other empires, which are definitely not doing this. So other than ships themselves, and this includes fighters, which I mentioned earlier, I don't max min that stuff. Like I can't be bothered. And I'd rather just say, I want to play on the same level playing field as the AI is, with the exception of, you know, the ships, because I think that's just core to what you do and it's fun. So other than customizing the ships, there's not a lot I do. Another thing, by the way, for revenue, not that I'm hurting here, and I haven't been doing it, right, is to sell. And it's this is a weird dynamic too. Like really, this is part of the game when it doesn't give them any real benefit, is to sell them, particularly this guy who I'm about to wipe out, right, all these discoveries here. Not that they always have enough money to do this, right? Like this guy only has $5,000. Because if you keep clicking, this doesn't go up. That's the most money they have, you know. But this one's worth 10, whatever, right? So accept this deal, and I'm just telling them, I'm just selling them the location of it, right? Nothing much they can do about it. Okay, and then go through this every time for every empire. It's something I'm not a big fan of, but I do it, particularly if I'm hurting for money. If things are really bad. See, this guy has no money here. And that's another thing about the AI. Most of these guys you'll see will not have enough money to do it. Like they have almost no money, right? So I don't know what's happening. And yet, right, if I go here, you'll see a lot of them are kicking my butt, right? I'm way down here in 5, right? I'm in 5th place, although they're not doing much better, but this guy is. Anyway. Yeah, he only has 2,000, so it's not even worth it at this point. And what about these guys? Nope, they got no money. So, but when they do get money later, if they do, that's a good way to make a little bit of cash. And again, I should be rushing these things as we go through them. Sometimes I see a tier 1 that I didn't like tracking, which I don't know that. Yeah, I do use that actually. Something that's really close to that, I just click it, right? And these are all from finding random things. Sometimes it's from just locate from your scout ships. They pick this up. Just throw that in the front because it's so quick. Yeah, I'm going to wait on medical. Okay. All right, let's let that go. Yeah, I should turn this off more too so you guys can see more on the screen. All right, so just a waiting game here. I'm just trying to quickly, I want to take these guys over really quickly. Oops, it looks like he got, why is there connection? Does he have a, oh yeah, he has a, looks like that's his colony here, right? I bet you it is. Although, oh no, he's getting attacked. Oh, wow. Okay, so this guy who's clearly dominating this game is trying to attack the guy I want to attack. And hopefully he can hold out long enough till I can get there. So all I got to really do, what I've really got to prioritize now is, and somehow, some reason I can see this, right? I must have a ship here, like a freighter or something. So all I got to do is beat this. I mean, I could go right in because if this guy's fighting him, he's probably, it looks like he's wiped out most of his fleet. Wow. So I really, really, really have to rush transports, which are here. I was just about to rush them anyway. Build up a transport fleet, and I could probably even use the existing ships I have. Okay. All right, but in the meantime, right, let me, before these improved missiles come out, let me just make some frigates and try to, all right, so is this my first design, or did I think I designed the escorts before? But anyway, take the frigates, we're going to hit the upgrade button. If for anybody who who's just getting into customizing ships, right, you can hit add new, but it just hit upgrade of the current one that you have. It'll switch this to automatically to manual. You can do it yourself if you want, but it'll put it to manual because you don't want the AI then updating and overriding your custom designs. But I think it goes to manual automatically if you click here. So just all you need to do is click the ship type, the hull type, right? And then click upgrade and then do your own thing here, right? So there's not much I can really customize here. It's mixing 3 different types. I usually go just for missiles, right? Oh, first thing I do before I forget is always put your tactics to cautious if you're using missiles because they're long range. Now, after the battle starts, a lot of times it ends up being a fur ball and everybody's all mixed together anyway. But at least when the initial combat happens, they'll try to keep their distance, right? Okay. And then this is all the technology I have. Yeah, and I don't use short-range sensors. And somebody comments about this on my other, one of my other videos. And yes, I'm quite aware that, see, that says scan range is 0, right? But you'll see when we play, this has no bearing whatsoever. Now, when I get a cruiser or I make a flagship later, I usually put short-range scanners on them so they can detect other ships. Yeah, it makes it harder for me to for example, chase other ships as they're leaving the system or something. But 90% of the time when I'm fighting, it makes no difference. But this is smaller. If you look at the size here, I think it's 5, and the other one's 10 or something, or 7 or 8, and it's smaller if you look at the size here. And it also adds 5% targeting and 5% damage increase. So this is what I use exclusively for all these lower level ships. And I've not had a problem since. And it's a benefit. Now, see on the left, it's 408 to 450. So I don't think I can fit another. Oh, I can. Okay. I can fit 2 medium. I didn't do any PD. I mean, this is a rush job, right? This is not I didn't research any PD, which I love to have. Although on these small ships, sometimes I don't. Sometimes by destroyer. I think somebody mentioned that actually in the comments, and I agree. I don't usually put a ton of PD unless like I had like 10 left or 11 left. I think some of the PD is like size 11 or something. Then I would put it on rather than another weapon. But this is pretty good for early game. 2 medium concussion missiles and, standard shielding here, pre-Corvidian. And a trace scanner and this tracking, active 10% tracking is great too. This is fine, particularly for this rush that I'm going to do. And I don't even think I need ships to fight this guy because he's already under attack. So I'm going to do save and exit. And I could upgrade my escorts, and it'll probably happen pretty quick. So all right, let's upgrade the escorts. And they just had their default settings before. Same thing, I'm going to place the trace scanner. 338. 57. Okay, I even have more room to do more things but for now, it's just too early in the game. I'm not going to bother. And I'm going to set this to cautious here. The only thing I don't want to happen is I don't want I don't know if it would matter, but if I go back to my first fleeter, I don't want these pirate ships. I don't want them upgrading because the destroyer won't certainly, but these other guys might, and they might be stronger and they have capture ability. Not that I'm going to use it. Yeah, and I like how, listen, that a few ships with a railgun, that's kind of nice, right? So a little different technology. Doesn't hurt. Anyway, let's see what happens. So if I right-click and I hit retrofit, right? If it can't retrofit the ships and you look over here, it'll just say refueling. Like if I click on this destroyer, it's not going to say retrofit. It's going to say refuel. That's how I know that it's not going to try to upgrade that one, retrofit that one. But this escort, right, it'll say retrofit. So I know that that's going to take and do that. And I bet you if I click on this one, yep, it's going to retrofit. Not that I think that escort is pretty strong. It's probably not. So I don't mind that. But these fleet frigates, they're going to retrofit. So you can stop that by just clicking on, it's a little tedious here, right? Hit stop and then just hit refuel. There's not that many, so I can do this. I don't know that they're going to be better. Just can't be bothered spending time looking to see if they're going to be better or worse. But, the heavy escorts I said would be fine. Yeah, I don't know. They're heavy escorts. But anyway. All right. So, and it'll also make it quicker because as soon as these guys are done retrofitting here, I want to immediately build, and it should be done soon, 68 days, troop transports, like maybe 10 or 12 of them, get all my troops loaded and just try to get in there before they conquer it. Because if those guys conquer it, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. All right. In fact, let's go back and see. Hopefully they can hold out long enough. It's kind of nice that they're getting devoured by these, their fleets are getting attacked by these guys, so I have no threat anymore, of course. Okay, troop transports are complete. I'm sure they're still upgrading. So I can go to the planet, though, and start building some. Right, so I go here, and let's build maybe 5. Okay, and then let's check this. Oh, I forgot. 2 of my new colonies can have space stations. I like to pick the location, so I don't like to just do this randomly. I like it facing where I think the enemy's going to come in. So if I go to here, right, hit delete, and look at this, probably my enemy's going to be coming from the, the left side, right? So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to force build, rather than clicking this button, which it puts it at a random location, it seems. I'm going to put the spaceport here, just to give it a little extra defense from the direction that they would be most likely be assaulting me. Okay, and then same thing here. I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to hit delete, and probably I'm going to get attacked from the purple guys. Of course, they both might have that happen. But, that's on the right edge of my empire. So I'm going to right-click here, and I'm going to put the spaceport there. Okay, yeah. And the reason why these are important is with the economy so low here, it probably doesn't matter economy-wise. I mean, it helps a little bit, but not much. But more for each one of them has a research component, right? Research lab on them. And so that's key. That'll give me like a little tiny boost in research, and every little bit's going to matter here. So that's why I try to get those going as soon as possible. I should have checked them earlier. All right, so the only thing left now is I want to keep an eye on the spaceport when it's done, right? So you can see it's retrofitting all these ships. And usually a small retrofit like this goes pretty quickly. Now, again, I also don't have, right, Spaceport version 2, which would have been a lot better. I know I could rush this, but it's almost done already. So what's going to happen with Spaceport 2, sorry about that, is it's going to build ships faster. And if I get to medium, it'll build 2 ships at a time. So even though it's going to interrupt this whole process, I'm going to hit upgrade this to 14 and whatever else I missed in the last 3 updates to 14, because then it'll build the ships quicker. So I'm going to do that. You'll see these probably I think they're going to go invisible. Let's see if it does it. No, that's if I do like small to medium. I think sometimes the whole queue will disappear and you'll think you've lost all that, but it'll just come back again. Okay. Yeah, see the problem with this down is right now you see there's messages coming up here and you got to see what they are. So I don't know that it buys you anything. I'd love to hide this UX up here. And if there's a way, let me know. Right? And then, so I could still see my stuff, but at least see this part of the map, right? Okay. Come on. Right. We're running out of time. They're going to eventually bring transports there if they haven't already. Oh, I did want to build some of my new frigates too. So I'm going to go back to here and build some frigates manually. Now, eventually there's another system for doing this, right? There's not many ships here. See, they're done with the transports already. So I'm going to build like 3 or 4 frigates here. These are my new type. And this is a little tedious here. And there's a better way to do this. I'll show you that in case you happen to be new to the game. When I get to it, once I have bigger ships and more stuff, but right now, early in the game, it's just, for me, it's just easy to pop those 5 out of there. So all I did is build 5 frigates at the planet, right, at my home colony, not my home spaceport. Here's my home spaceport. That's still doing the upgrades here, and this will take 3 seconds. Oh, it's going to upgrade again to it. Oh, I didn't upgrade it to version 2. Oh. That's all right, I'm going to do it right now. It's weird. Did I click on a different space? Did I update the ghost? Oh, I think I updated this one by mistake. Which I didn't want to do because it has some nice built-in... Oh, no, there's the same built-in weapons. All right. By the way, I didn't bother to, but I could build a couple of ships here too, right? So I will. A couple, maybe 4 frigates. Like I said, I don't think we need ships. I think we just need ground troops. But I'm just making my fleet one a little bit bigger. I hope they're still... I'm going to look up one time. I keep looking down. I'm hyper-focused here, and I'm going to look up, and this thing's going to be purple, right? And I'm going to be pretty unhappy. All right. Oh, and then, so I forgot that back here. So let's build the rest of my troop transport. So maybe 6 of them, maybe 5, 6 of them. Okay. And I hope my home is still producing... Oh, another mistake that I made. Sorry, I was so hyper-focused. Let me just build a couple more troops here. is if you build your transports and you don't put them in a fleet and turn it to manual, they're going to take all these troops and start moving them around to your other colonies, which is so annoying. So I just go here, I go to military ships, I filter this by troop transports, right? And I grab them all. Hopefully they still have all those, they still have all the troops on. They actually haven't delivered them. Oh no, it looks like they did deliver them. Well, we'll have to see what happened. And then I'm going to create a new fleet, call it something useful. Okay, and then I gotta check to see if how much do they still have troops on board. Yeah, they do. Actually, they have a lot of them on board. So hopefully, well, let's see. And I know I'm doing the slow zoom here, but it's sometimes like to. Yep, see, they already dropped 2 here. So I'm going to take one of these guys that has nobody on them, hopefully. Man, you guys worked quick. I was not even paying attention. All right, I think this guy. We'll take these guys and load troops, and this guy load troops. All right, we'll get them off that colony. Come on. No, we couldn't handle it? I don't know. This guy should be able to handle it. Okay, good. So I got them off there, and they may or may not have put them on my other colony. Let's see if they did. Nope. Oh, yeah, they did. Okay, great. So now I'll tell the whole first assault here to go load troops here. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Now, I got to be checking things carefully, right? There could be more research. There's not. Okay. And of course, I've got these 2 constructors that are not on auto, which I should have done earlier. I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it. I should make sure there's no more. There's plenty of new minerals that I want them to mine, set up mining stations at. Yeah, a lot of them. Okay. Got to remember to do that. Another thing to be careful about, and I'm sure it hasn't happened yet, but another thing to be careful about is eventually you may miss it, like I often do, because I'm not paying super attention. You may miss that there's a new government type. I don't think there is here, right? These are the ones you start with, but as soon as you see Way of the Ancients for the humans, I think this is human only. Way of the Ancients, you want to upgrade that as soon as possible, right? Because there's all green here versus these -10s and everything else. And it's just higher level for everything. It's much superior government type. So, but usually there's an event there always is an event that happens, and you can send your leader to be killed. But sometimes you find it before that event, or maybe I just missed the firing of the event and I've missed it. But when I played, I've just sort of noticed that it's there, so I do check that once in a while. Though this early, it's not going to happen. All right, so my first assault's going over here. They're going to load troops there. Then they're going to come over here. In the meantime, my first fleet. Right? Should have a lot more ships now. Okay, there's another one in there. Yeah, and again, if you're new to the game, a lot of these hive ships start in these nebula, which purple is ion storm. I haven't even done any research into ion shields so that we can get in there nicely. And so it's another thing we'll deal with later. But right now, I've got these other 2 priorities, or 1 priority right now. And being that no other ships coming, I don't think I need more ships. But it's a one-shot deal. If you miss it, you miss it. So I'm going to build a couple more Oh, they're actually building troop transports. Okay, my home. Yeah, this is not. All right, so let's build a couple more frigates here. And now it gets tedious, right? Because now I have to select first fleet. So there's a better way to do this. I mean, I can go to the fleet screen and filter by all frigates and do this, right? I mean, I'm not always doing the most efficient thing, so sometimes it's just where my head's at. Okay. So all I'm doing now is building a few while I'm waiting for the spaceport to finish, right, pumping out these troop transports. I'm building a few more frigates just to be safe, though I suspect that they're going to be really weak when we get there. And would be nice if these missiles hit version 2. When I get there, my weapons will be that it will for sure. It'll be that much more effective. So that's great. Whereas, right, if I go to shields right now and change deflectors to this, right, that's a new technology. This is just for new people, right? You see I have version 2 here, but if I go to here, that's a different technology, Corvidian shield. So clicking this is not going to help me. But if it had said version 3, which it doesn't, of course, of this deflection field generator, it would automatically upgrade en route or even during the combat, and that would be useful, but this is not useful for me, right? Whereas, like maneuvering might help. I mean, I don't really... oh, no, that's a different name too, right? Directional versus thrusters. thrust vector, excuse me. So that's not going to help me either. I don't have any fighter bays, so that's not going to help me. Yeah, but economy-wise, I do want to get this going, so I'll get that going. The improved. Oh, I didn't put. When I was building my ships, I didn't use. I don't think I put. Maybe I did. Oh, maybe I did. So maybe that will help us. I don't remember. I did put a tracking, some basic tracking. Yeah, I think I did. So anyway, and I could check it. I'm just not bothered right now. I'll make that go really quick. So those two technologies will. That one will for sure, and this one may help me when I get into battle, which will be very, very shortly. Okay, so now I think my troop transports finally got there. They did. They must have picked up all the troops they got. Okay, good. And now I'm going to go, of course, back to my home and tell the first assault to pick up any troops here. Now, when they're en route, right? Whatever. See, they've loaded those two, but while they're en route, they won't. Right. This is another weird thing about the game that they could have made. The fleet has an order to pick up troops. It would be nice if this updated when they got here. In other words, if we had more ships to pick up, or there were more troops to pick up, but it doesn't, right? So when you get here, in case there's more troops available, you have to right-click, load troops. Oh, where is this? Okay, so this probably not close, but let's take a look. Yeah, way over here. That's usually a great system. These names are reused, right? These independent colonies are often reused, so like it's really common to see that particular system there, authority, and it's usually pretty good, but it's too far for me to deal with, so I'm not worried about it right now. Okay, 2 more troop transports, and I'm going to hit automatically reload again. I can actually send first fleet in now. Now, why aren't these guys all fueled? See this ship here? I don't know where he is. Is he being built? No, he's damaged or something. So he's going to, not that it's going to stop the fleet from moving, but you see this crazy situation here? He's damaged and he's out of fuel and he's limping his way home here. So I'm just going to say, you know, get out of the fleet and set him to auto. He'll auto escort somebody. Later on in the game, when I have resource and time, I do set a lot of frigates out and put them on auto, individual ships, and they'll go out and either guard places or escort places. So it's nice for like a single creature. It'll help defend against, or, you know, just maybe hold off a fleet for a few extra moments, a few extra days, I guess, in game term. But I do like to put about, you know, 10% of my ships on this auto. I'm doing it here, right? Because I don't want even worrying about a ship that's not going to be with the fleet when they get there. So I just got rid of them. Other than that, oh, there's another one too. Is that the same? No, but now this one's got enough fuel and he's home, right? So you can see he's in the home system. So I just hit this, he'll refuel in 2 seconds. Yeah, he's fine. So that was just a fluke. And of course you can have the whole fleet do it, right? Because I got another one here. No, it's the same. Is that the same guy? Looks like there's 2 of them. Wow, unless I'm having deja vu. Okay, great. So now everybody's fueled, everybody's ready to go. Oh yeah, by the way, you'll notice I did not, and I should, I just haven't bothered because this is a one-shot deal. I just want to take this place and then I can refuel there. But normally I would add some tankers here, right? Some fuel tankers to refuel my ships when they're, particularly if they're out away from any colony. But we'll make it there with plenty of fuel, I think, and we'll get there, and then we'll get when we conquer it, assuming everything goes well, we'll get the fuel from that colony and we'll be fine. But normally I would be doing this. Now, another weird thing to talk about too is, and I'm not going to actually look in here to waste too much time, but if I click on the design here of Thunder, even though I didn't design the ship and it's a pirate ship, right? But it's here and it will tell you, right, what kind of warp engine it has. So this has a warp bubble generator, right? Which I think is 1 tech below me. I think I'm at 3rd tier. This is going to slow down the whole fleet, right? You can see the jump speed there is 200K. And I think if we go to my ships, right? Go to my ships. And I'm going to stop as soon as I take this planet. Hopefully, if I take this planet. Go to my ship designs, right? It's a, Garax hyperdrive. So the fleet's only going to travel, I believe the fleet's going to travel with the slowest ship. I believe that's going to happen. Or he's going to get there late, which I don't think is the case. But anyway, it's just not great to have, but he's a destroyer, and right now I'm just trying to get everybody there. Okay, so even though my transports are not quite done, right, but they're almost done, I'm going to hit load troops, and there might not be any troops left to pick up. There aren't. Now, listen, I don't know that this is enough. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not enough. So it's going to be a little complicated. When I get there, I may delay these guys even longer, right, because I've got plenty of troops being built. But But I'm going to send First Fleet there and still dominate the area because I'm hoping they're still hurt from the other guys. Actually, I can kind of peek in. Well, see, okay, so I don't have anybody. Oh, wow, they have a continental moon there too because they're here. Oh, so I don't have any ships here, and that's why I can't see what's going on. And or everything's been wiped out. I don't know. Well, let's go. So I can send the fleet in here. That's another weird thing I don't like about the game. Like, there should be like, I'd like it if there was a forced war declaration. I know there's a penalty. You're getting oh yeah, you can see that. So you can see the battle going on here. See this? So I don't have a ship in here. Before, when we looked into this colony, and this is my target, right? I didn't have a ship in here, but I mean, I did before. I had must have been a freighter or something, and I could see what's going on in the system. I can't see what's going on in the system now because I don't have any ships here. And I could have, by the way. One of the smart things to do if you're about to attack someplace is take one of these random dudes that are just exploring here and just send them in, right? I mean, I'm not going to do it now, but that would have been a good thing to do so I could still see what's going on here. I usually do that. I'm just kind of rushed here and making a video, but that's a smart thing to do. But you can still see, it's funny, like the weapons being fired, so I can still see there's a battle going on here. I really don't even think my ships are going to be necessary. It's all, oh, well, except for I'm going to have to bombard, right? So these guys have a defense of, oh, you can't see it, but before we were looking at it, it was defense of 4,500, I think, for the troops. And then you've got to deal with all the militia, right? So the population produces, when you invade, a whole bunch of troops, even though they're kind of weak. And so I don't, by far, have enough troops. And my tiered weapons, I didn't make any bombardment weapons, are hardly going to affect the population. So it's going to be an iffy proposition, but I can't wait because I'm really afraid these guys are going to take them over before I get there. Okay, now look at this. Not that I really care right now. Okay, so my ships are on their way, I think. Yep, they are. And the first assault is fully built, but I just don't have enough troops. So now it's I have plenty of room, right? But I don't have enough troops built because I waited a little bit longer there. So I might wait to this one more. You can see here my colony view. I have one more armored brigade. I think as soon as that's done, I'm going to grab it. Right, so as soon as that's kind of a weird interface. Okay, so it just kind of, as soon as it updated like that, I think that means it's there. Yeah, see if you look here, it's there. So I'm going to go to here, take my first assault, load that last guy up, right? And when you do that, you can see, right, that's one guy. And as soon as that disappears, you know you have him. Okay, good. And I'm going to send, now, this is a huge iffy proposition. I'm not sure my weapons are going to make a difference here, but we're going to send in my transports loaded with what I do have. And let's see what happens. Okay. Like, again, this is not the perfect invasion. I'm very, very rushed. Because I think these guys may invade before I get there, and I really don't want that to happen. So now it's the race to this. And again, I'm not even sure, because my weapons are pretty primitive here, that I'm going to have enough to bombard with. Okay, just a quick pirate agreement. All right. And, you know, you want to see the progress of your ships. There they are. That's First Fleet, I'm sure. No, that's First Assault. First Fleet is already here. There's First Fleet arriving. All right, yeah, I'll deal with that later. Okay, right? So you can just double-click on First Fleet. All right, let's see what's going on. So we walked into this battle. I got to turn it off of 8. Going way too fast. All right, let's see what's going on, right? So, wow. Okay. I stand corrected. There's a lot of red ships here. So it might... So the smart thing to do is I probably have more time than I think. Although there's not a lot of combat ships here. Yeah, it's a resort base. Well, yeah, there's a lot more purple than... I think it's okay. Now, the purple guys do not have any transports here, right? So I think I'm good. I'm still going to wait for... I think I'm going to wait for my transports. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, they're here. Okay. Now, let's see what happens. So... These guys actually have a lot of ships, but I'd like to attack them before the purple guys are all wiped out, right? So I'm kind of helping the purple guys. All right, so let's do it. So, yeah. Now, one thing I want to do, oh, no, there's no research project. One thing I want to do, if I am going to get lucky and take this over, right, is I want at least 2 levels of their culture, because that will make them assimilate quicker. I can't do it here. I got to wait till this one's done. That will make them assimilate quicker. All right, this is a huge risk. Let's see what happens. But I'm going to declare war on these guys. Yes, you have insufficient justification for this war. We're going to suffer a negative reputation impact. Now, what's the most important thing reputation is going to affect me is me dealing with independence, and I have none. They all got taken over. So not that I mean, it will also affect my relationships with other empires too, but I'll deal with that, right? So I'm just going to declare a surprise war on this guy. And I'm going to bombard, but I just going to make sure I want to help this guy defeat any fleets that are hanging around here. So right now I'm just going to, this is just because I want to clear a path. This thing will go in 2 seconds. It's under construction, right? It'll go. Oh yeah, I got to slow the game down. Okay. Right. And it looks like the purple guy's winning, even though he has less ships. So we're just going to clear a spot here, get rid of the spaceport because that could interrupt my transports. Right. A lot of this red that you see is just scrubs, either damaged ships or scrubs. The spaceport though can pack a punch. I want to wipe that out. But I really need to start bombarding. By the way, bombarding is going to also affect my reputation pretty seriously. I'm just going to deal with it. Now, by the way, if we click here and we take a look, so their troops are, yeah, look at this. They're 59, I think mine is 45. That's 5,900 already. And the population, of course, is huge. So that's going to be a problem. So let me just wipe out this spaceport and any of these ships around here. Oh, actually, the purple guys look like they're leaving. The Sonder Guild. See, there's my missiles at long range firing. I really love that. Not long range, but long to them, right? When you get the large missiles, then they really shoot from far. But again, this is a great example where I'm going to be kind of immune from taking damage for the most part. Okay, now, so you got to be careful here, right? So they're coming in around my transport. So I'm going to have to move here. I don't know if this is the smartest thing, and these guys are going to move here too. Oh, another thing. Okay, so this is really important. The first assault, right? These transports, they're going to try to attack everything in their sight, and I really don't want them to. So I'm going to change their fleet engagement range to be engaged when attacked, because I just want them to focus on landing troops. And of course, I can't do that right now. I'll lose. I have to bombard now. See, he's taking damage already, and I'm not thrilled about that. I should have been protecting them a little bit better. Okay. This could be a fool's folly, and this could end badly. Yeah, guys, finish that guy off. Oh, good. So they just popped right in among them. So they're going to take it. So I'm mixing my ships like this now. I want these guys back here. You know, we'll protect them. Right, finish that guy off. All right, let's go. I already took 2 damaged already, although not too bad. No, I don't want you jumping. See, this is what I don't like about this. All right, so now I go to fleet tactics here, right? Fleet retreat strategy, right? So I'm just going to say never. I mean, it's very dangerous to leave them like this, particularly later in the game. Somebody remind me. But for now, I just want them hanging out. I hope my fleet can defend them. Yeah, get this guy wiped out. There he goes. Okay. Now, missiles are terrible at bombardment, but we're going to try it anyway. And it might work. Okay. There's negative reputation I'm going to take. Okay. All right. And let's see if it's working at all. Now, right, so the population start to drop, and these troops will start taking damage, assuming it works. I mean, if it doesn't, I'm really not in a good place here. And sometimes, sometimes I find ships, right, derelict ships that I repair, and maybe 1 or 2 ships are actually bombarding, because I don't think the missiles are going to really do much. Yep. So this is going to be a short little experiment here. I don't think they're going to do anything. See, they're not even shooting at the planet, right? So I wonder if I'm taking a penalty as I do this, if they're not actually shooting. So really, I'm in a bad place here. In fact, I have to probably retreat because... Or I have to build bombardment. It looks like maybe the destroyer is? No, I can't tell. Anyway. Yeah, so this is what I was afraid of, right? Although... Are they dropping? Yeah, it is. Oh, okay. It's somebody's hitting it, right? It may just be one of those pirate ships. It is technically hitting it, but how long is it going to take me to reduce this defense strength? Oh, there it goes. All right. Maybe they just were too far from the planet. But I know missiles are terrible at doing this. Okay. It's really taking forever, right? So I'm going to put this on ×8 speed, see if we can get out of this boredom here. See if it really starts dropping. It's dropping slowly, right? Ugh. In fact, it doesn't look like it's dropping enough. Oh, it's going back and forth. Yeah, that's a big mistake. Yeah, it's just like oscillating here. It's really not dropping. Although the population is. No, I can't really tell. Okay, so we need more troops and I need more ships. So, and of course, as I said, what happened would happen. The research stopped because I wasn't paying attention. So I'm going to research bombardment, right? So this is kind of interesting to do anyway. It's going to take more time. So I'm going to research bombardment, and which I should have done beforehand. I should have known this was going to happen. But sometimes I get lucky. I was so worried about those. This all became rushed because I was worried about those other guys. Sorry, I can't remember where bombardment is. It's up here, right? Yeah, I think it's up here. There it is. Oh, I have technology. Oh, I must have found it somewhere. I didn't do that myself. All right, so I'm going to research this technology, even though it's third tier. I'll build some ships with this, right? So I'm going to actually, I don't even care because I'm going to be getting better frigates. I'm going to override my other design. Not that I would normally do that. I would normally research the next level of frigates and make one of my hull designs be this type of ship, but it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to change I would normally have 2 designs here. I can't be bothered right now because I'm going to change this all again anyway. So I'm going to hit upgrade because my other ships are currently, unless I retrofit them, they're not going to upgrade, right? So I don't have to worry about that. It's a really short solution here. Let me see if I can put 2 of them on there. Oh, I can't fit it. It's got to be in a large. Okay. So I don't even know if I really want to bother. I probably can't even fit it. Let's see. Can I fit a medium in there? Oh, yeah, I could. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I can only fit 1 atomic devastator in there because it's an L, right? L's only going to fit on these larger bays here. But that's okay. All right. Good. And I'm going to call this I would usually do something more exciting. I don't need this to be cautious anymore. I don't think aggressive matters when you're bombarding. It's just going to bombard, but whatever. All right, so I'm going to build these new ships. And I'm overriding my other design, like I said, because I'm going to be changing that design anyway as soon as this war is over. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to... Now, all right, let's talk about this. So now I'm going to go here and say, do this the right way. Go to Fleet Templates. I'm going to use... yeah, let me override this one. So let's edit this one. Let's call it bombardment. Although I'll never use this again either, but... Okay, anyway, this is how you use fleet templates. And I'm going to tell it I don't want any escorts. All I want is frigates. And, maybe 20 is probably more than overkill. It might take too long to build 20, but, let's do 16. And it's probably overkill. Okay, and then you can set all the default things here, like I might set this to be same system. But that's it. The rest of these are not important for right now. Okay, so once you do that, once you build the fleet template here, then you say build a new one at, and I'm going to pick my home. Now, the only, thing about this, normally this would be fine. But I probably want to do this because then instead of having one spaceport building all this stuff, it'll come from different places. Now, if your empire spread apart, you'll see the ships flying in from all over the empire, but my empire is not that big. So I'm going to do this. Okay. And then all that did is it created a fleet, or it started building the ships. It created the fleet. I'm going to call this bombardment. Yeah, let's use bombers. Okay. And it's probably building it at various places. See, it's building it. So many are being built here. And then this is what I don't like about oh, no, there's some there too. Okay, good. All right, that's actually good. So they're being built at all different places that can build ships. And then they'll all come together and form the fleet. And then I'll send the fleet up here, assuming we survive long enough to do that. And we have enough. Another thing is we don't have enough. Well, we're okay now, but we're going to run out of fuel, right? Yeah. Now, another thing I can do is I can blockade this. Now, I don't know, and if anybody's on there knows, I could blockade this. if I blockade this, can the other guys not land troops? That would be an interesting question to answer. I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do something really weird. I'm going to take this destroyer. I wonder if he can bombard. Like, I wonder if he's the one that was actually doing any damage here. I think he is. I'm too lazy to look into his design screen. All right. Meanwhile, my bombers are getting built, and I could probably send them in piecemeal. Actually, I might do that. I might just say, "Come on in now." So with whatever I have, okay. Rather than prepare an attack, just attack with the 5 you have, and let the rest of the guys meet us here. And maybe this nightmare of an invasion, this poorly planned, worst case scenario. Yeah. Now these guys are mixed in. No, they're just. Yeah, they're not doing much. They're escaping. Okay, they're fine. So I'm going to move here. I don't know if that block... That's a good question I've never answered. Does that blockade block anybody else from invading? I don't think it does. Oh, here they come. Now, if these guys have troops, I'm dead. They don't. Okay. Good. All right, so hopefully... I wonder if any of these guys have actually reached here yet. Or it'd be great if they bombarded for me and took the reputation that they won't, but it'd be nice. But at least they're keeping the other fleets busy. I don't have to pull out of here. Yeah, no thanks. Okay. Are they here? They must... No, they're not here because they would be working already. Yeah, I don't see any of them. All right, they'll be here soon, though. I just got to be sure these guys do not bring in transports. I mean, I've actually had a case where I landed troops and they landed troops at the same time. And I don't remember how it worked, who won the planet. I think it was whoever had the majority of troops, but I don't remember. It only happened once to me, where we were both invading at the same time. And only, obviously, there's no way to split it, right? So only one person gets the credit. Okay, are they? Come on, guys. Where are you? They're all built now. Here they are. No, is that them? Why does it say no mission? Did I not tell them to bombard? What? Is that really a thing? No, I did. Didn't I? Yeah, here they come. No, they're on the far side of the planet. It's fine. I would normally worry about that, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, now watch, right? Now it's going down like crazy. You can see the troops taking damage. And listen, I'm going to take a huge population hit, but that's fine. They'll build back up quickly. I mean, I'm going to have damage. So look, the other thing that happens right from bombarding is I've got damage on the quality, but I can build a building to fix that. The main thing is I conquer these guys early, and the lesser population actually helps me not take as much physical damage, though I'm going to take a huge financial hit here. By the way, the other thing I wanted to do, if you remember, and I don't need that tech now, is I should have been worrying about this, is getting their culture, right? I really need this culture. Well, it'll go quick. Before I land here. Okay, so now, right, it's a guessing game here. I'm at 1,000 troops, and the population's still pretty high. I'm not going to risk it. I went all this far. Let me just wipe out all these troops. I don't care about the population getting destroyed. Okay, so now I should be able to take it. No problem. I think so. We'll see. If I can't, it's all over. All right, so let's watch the troops drop. Let's go, guys. There they go. Yeah, fine. I should have stopped the bombardment, by the way, while I was doing this. Okay, I'll just call them over here. Proceed over here. Okay, so now watch about what I was talking about, research. So as soon as I conquer these guys, right, we're at 316 right now. By the way, I should reset these guys. Oh, they are. Okay, we're at 316 right now, and this, whatever his research is, plus I'll build a spaceport here. So I'm about to conquer him. I think it's his only system, right? Let's hope so. Yeah, see, they're wiped out. Okay. So these purple guys will go home. They will not get the benefit of this. I know, conquered. Okay, so a lot of things are going to go down here. First of all, look at my cash flow, right? It's terrible. And before I run out of cash, I've got to do a few things. So I definitely want to build this planetary administration center. That's going to cut some of the corruption down. By the way, there's a cheat here. So the cheat here is to manually, if you're interested in cheating here, manually increase the set tax rate to manual. Increase the tax rate tremendously. They'll rebel. Your troops will put down the rebellion. And then this assimilation factor here, by the way, I'm going to show you this. which is at 0%, will jump to, I think, 33% or 50%. I forget what it does, but it makes them jump. And that's a cheating way. It's not cheating. It's if you want to play that way, but kind of defeats like the purpose of the game. So I do not do that. There's a lot of things that I don't do. There's some things I do, and you might consider it gaming the system, but this is definitely, right, gaming the system. So I don't do it, but it's going to kill me for a long time. Look at the cash flow there. It's terrible. But again, this assimilation rate will go quicker, and these guys, if I remember, are terrible. Every race has its own assimilation rate, default rate. But with this tech coming, right, with their culture, I think if I go all the way down here, just to show you, this culture will, yeah, see, so population similarity at 40% versus 20% here, right? Yeah. And I guess everybody's the same. Yeah, 40%. That's a big difference, right? So I need this tech ASAP. In fact, I want to rush it before I run out of money because my cash is going to definitely drop below zero, I think. Okay, so that's one thing I want to do is build that building. The second thing I want to do is make sure I'm doing the tech, which is coming for this culture because, and that's not, okay, a third thing you need to do is when you run out of money, you can't buy new tech, right? So you should buy some relatively expensive tech that you wouldn't normally spend money on right now. And I'm going to tell you right now what it is. I want continental because I have 2 continental planets. I'm going to have 3 soon. So that's a good tech that takes a long time. It's tier 4 here. I want research, structured research. That will help all my research centers. So I'm going to do that one. In fact, I'll do that one because the money's more important. This will help me make money. If I'm not making money, increasing the research capability is not going to make a gigantic difference. Well, it's kind of a balancing act. I could do this one too. This would make me a lot more money pretty quickly too. But actually, I think I'm going to have to fix this planet too. So I'm going to grab this one here. Now, I don't want to spend all my money, but I want to spend a lot of this money. So when I'm out of money, and maybe taking some easy, cheap ones. Well, these are free. All the basic ones are free. So I'm just picking some random things because I'm not going to be able to buy. Shields are good. I'm not going to be able to buy technology for a long time. That should keep me pretty busy, I hope. And I'm still down to 186. It'd be smart to fill it up. But for now, I'm just going to accept this. All right, and then the last thing, of course, you want to build, and I want it facing this way, is I can't for some reason. I don't have the resources. I want to build a spaceport, but it's not letting me do it. Oh, yeah, I don't have enough steel, looks like, or something. All right, hopefully that'll happen before I run out of money. Let's see what happens. Now, you got all your troops here. Another smart thing to do is to move these troops off. But this is a likely spot for me to get invaded anyway by these purple guys. Yeah, no, you're gone. Okay. Oh, by the way, I meant to look here. It didn't go up much, but I bet you these 3 are in their territory, or what would have been their territory. Let's see. Yeah, it is. All 3 of them are here. Why they didn't develop them? It's another thing you want to do because it costs money too. So if you don't click these now, when your money drops to 0, as mine very likely will, you won't be able to buy these. So there's a lot of things you want to do before you run out of money when you conquer something like this and you're taking this huge, huge cash flow hit. Okay, so definitely those 3. And again, I want to have 2 of my... Oh, not only that, I just picked up all their ships, right? So look at this. I've got all of their constructors, right? And of course, I also have a lot of new ships. If you go to ships here and I look at ships not in a fleet, there's a whole bunch of them. So I picked up all their other fleets. There's a setting for you to turn that off so you don't take them if you want to not take the maintenance hit. But I'm fine with this. I mean, I'm taking a maintenance hit, a money hit anyway. So, and they're all in auto, which is great, except for this guy. I don't know what he's doing. I'm going to add him to first fleet. I don't want him to upgrade. Yeah, and then I got to manage. So I got to deal with all the other stuff like getting my ship designs fixed because I just kind of threw that all together. Okay. Oh, and this happened too, right? This is a big one, and I want to do this while I still have the money. There's 2 of them here. So this one was in, they couldn't do it. They had 18. They could have, but of course, being human, it's much more advantageous for me. This is a nice little colony, although small in diameter. So I'm going to say colonize this. And this guy must be with whoever I have that does desert. I guess it's the Tekin. No, I don't have Tekin. Who's going to colonize this? Oh, the Dayut. Okay, they do deserts. Okay, 35. That's great. So I'm going to do this and this too, and just check for any others. Okay. By the way, I like to sort this. Forget the priority by suitability, and then I can check myself to see if they're in range. Oh, that's too far away to deal with right now. Although the tech from it would be worth it alone. I would just hate to defend a colony that far out. Anyway, I'll think about that. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. So I did one of I think 4 objectives. I got one of them, right, which is a quick take this neighbor to the north. And then I'm going to just probably have to fight these guys and grab that. That system is way too powerful. So hopefully maybe these guys will get another war and I can take this and if I take this, they probably won't bother me back here. They might, but I can just defend this system here, this colony here. But I'm going to take another big hit, right, financially. So we'll pick that up in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and I'll see you in episode 3.